Hello everybody and welcome to VFR. Today we are here on the ground in Redmond, Oregon, taking a trip up to Seattle in our Delta Connection ATR 772-600. Now of course this is, make no claims to historical validity. But we're loading passengers now here on the ground at beautiful Redmond. You're at the terminal. Now this is a freeware by Bullfrog Sim. One of the really good ones. And it's a really interesting, I don't have a GSX profile for it, but always one of my hearty recommendations. Obviously, we've spent some time over by the fire ramp on up on that side of the field. And then you get the GA ramp down here. But it's just a really fun place to fly, an interesting place to fly. And it's a great place for this. I would have flown it in Alaska or Horizon Air or something, but I didn't have it installed. So we're going to rock with Delta for the moment. Today we're going to be call sign Brickyard 3584. We are on Vatsim, but it's pretty quiet. We'll see if we get Seattle Center online, or maybe they'll tune in as we're about to land like they did in Portland. So hope you all are doing well, and sorry about the stream on Monday. I had all the intentions of making it happen, and then it just didn't happen. And that's all right. Saul, welcome aboard. Tuned in from New Hampshire. Very cool. So let's go ahead and get into the cockpit and get started here. They have started boarding the airplane. But we really haven't started our job. You have external power, so battery on. We want to make sure we have nav lights on. I'd like a little overhead panel too, if I can get it. And I've flown a little bit with the new update for the ATR. Still really enjoy the ATR. And I haven't had any problems with it. That's all I can really say about it. Okay, so we want to make sure we're getting set up here for, we want to start engine 2 if we're going to start anything. Dog power's on. Let me configure controls real quick. In the physical world, we'll swap out the 737 for the ATR. For my throttle, I just use the Honeycomb Bravo with the civilian prop levers. I have it kind of cut out for condition levers, but I don't think you need the condition levers bound. I think it just messes things up. So great to see y'all here on a cool. Now we are going to go make sure we're set up on 122.8 as far as our frequency is concerned. So let's come in here, get cooking. Pause in it. We're going to take our GPS position. One of the interesting things is last position on this isn't the same as this. I assume it's the last place you stop the airplane. So that's a nice touch, usually. I mean, in the 7.3, it's the same as where you are, which can be a little bit of a cheat. Nav data should be fine. We're in the nav database in MSFS. Wonder if all that's updated. We'll put in weight in a minute. I got to get everything set up. So as far as sim brief is concerned, we need to load some fuel and some passengers. Go to weight and balance. We need a payload of 16,100. I don't really mess with the rows. I just kind of make 16,100 line up in the payload. A little tick, one tick down. 96% payload, 70 passengers, full airplane today. And then our block fuel for today is 4,200 pounds. So let's switch it over to pounds. And we want, we'll call it 5,000 pounds. Okay, so we're set up there. We can go over to our weights. Our estimated zero fuel weight is 40, so we'll call it 46,800. Because I added a little bit of, yeah, it's not liking that. Now, why is it not taking that? It doesn't like that. That's interesting. Is it a... I'm out of range. I guess it's an out of range thing. Am I over the max takeoff weight? Or the max zero fuel weight, 45. 8.6. Oh, let's be real specific. 862 is what they say. So yeah, so it must be 46. Maybe it cuts me off at 46,000 pounds. And fuel on board is going to be 5,000. It's a gross weight of about 50, yeah, a little bit more than 50,000. And that gives us a trim of 0.8 up. Let's go ahead and tile that in. And I started this by saying, let's get our radios tuned in. 122.8 on Unicom tonight. So we can talk to all the people coming out to Redmond International Airport. Alright, so that's all good. That's set up and going. We are going to go ahead and clear ourselves in a minute. Wait a minute. Our cruising altitude today is 16,000. We're going up to the north and west. East is odd, west is even odder. That gives us cruise altitude of 16,000 feet. And then we'll in at the flight plan route here. We are at Kilo Romeo Delta Mike. We're heading up to Kilo Sierra. Echo Alpha. Seattle, Tacoma International Airport. We are Brickyard, RPA 3584 in the flight ID. Go ahead and accept that. Let's go get more useful things up. Redmond to Seattle. Now, let's see what our route is, shall we? And just for our own practice to stay frosty, we'll clear ourselves. So, if we were in the situation where we'd want to call someone, we'd probably have to end up... I mean, it's unlikely that Redmond would be controlled, and it's a towered airport at some times. But if we were departing late at night, it wouldn't be. Anyway. We'd probably have to call Seattle Center, assuming they're not online, and they are not. Seattle Center, we are Brickyard 3584 with the weather, requesting IFR clearance to Seattle. And from them, we might hear something along the lines of Brickyard 3584 cleared to Seattle Tacoma International Airport. Direct Deschutes VOR, then as filed. I don't know what they do actually out of Redmond. I don't think there's any SIDS. No departures. Then as filed, and then we'll climb maintain. We might climb maintain 5,000 on departure, expecting flight 16,000 10 minutes after. So that's we'll go punch in the route, but let's get into hotel mode here for the moment. Prop brake on. We have fuel pump for the right engine on. We have DC Gen 2 on. Our AC gens come on. We also want window heat on and oxygen on. Extinguish those lights. Emergency lights armed. We have finished fueling, so we're going to turn on the seatbelt signs. And then wing lights to warn people that we're starting our engine in hotel mode. And then turn this over to crank. Gust lock is engaged, and then we'll go into the feather position. So starting engine 2. And then feather. And hopefully we hear something, but don't see any spinning. Alright, that's pretty good. We're set there. Let's go ahead and punch in this route. We're going to be direct Deschutes, but we'll come in here. Now, SimBrief gave me a runway 29. Let's check the weather at Redmond real quick. Redmond International Airport is reporting wind 350 at 9, 10-mile visibility, no clouds, altimeter 299.5. That does lead me to want a 299.5. That does lead me to expect takeoff off the 29 Our other option is runway 5 or runway 23. It's kind of a crosswind. You get a fair crosswind for really either runway, though. 29 or 5. 29 is going to be just a little bit better for us. Let's go over the airport real quick. So where we are, we've got... we're down here at the air carrier ramp. We have basically 2 crossing runways. We can take 29's probably the best bet. It's just a little bit more favorable with the wind coming basically from the north. Runway 5 is the other option. It's a little bit longer, but we shouldn't be constrained in either. Well, actually, it's a little wider, but it's actually not very much longer. And then zooming out, we'll look at the route that we have been filed on. We're going to go out to the Deschutes VOR off the runway, and then we will follow the airway north, and then crossing the mountains into the Seattle area. Now, this hasn't put me on an arrival into Seattle. I don't know if they would. I confess that Seattle is not my normal stopping ground, so I don't really know what the standard operating procedure for a turboprop into Seattle would be, but we'll find out if someone comes online. All right, so that's all good. Let's finish programming this in. I got distracted on the tangent. Runway 29 is what we want. Then we are heading to, pull up my flight plan, the Deschutes VOR, Delta Sierra Delta, which we can, excuse me, kind of direct around ourselves to. Then we get an airway, Victor 25, to Yankee Kilo Mike. Come in here, and we want to go to Victor 25 to Yankee Kilo Mike there. Yakima VOR if I was a betting man. Then from Yakima, Victor 4 to Blaco. And then we're direct to Seattle. I wish you can't put the airport in as an actual navigation point. But in this airplane, especially because you kind of end up on some of those routes. I do like to, we do have the Seattle VORTAC is C. So if we need to navigate towards that and clear out the, well, we can probably do this for the moment. But if we need to navigate to an actual navigate, we have the Seattle VORTAC there. All right, so that's the FMS set up and ready to go. I think everything else is more or less good. We need to do perfin it off of runway 29. It's giving us 113 V1, re-rotate 113 V2, 117. That'll be okay for us. We'll err on the side of earlier, though, just because we do have a shorter runway. Takeoff coming along, just joining us. We are on Vatsim tonight with the ATR 72-600 flying out of Redmond, Oregon here into Seattle Tacoma International Airport. So thank you all for coming along. We're getting ready to push back here, actually. We are pretty much set. I think we're the only ones at the field, but we'll give a call anyway, because we're probably going to push onto this taxiway if it's not a non-movement area. It's not really. What's behind it is the taxiway, so we'll push without reservation.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Go and turn our beacon on. Fuel pumps on. Left. We'll turn on the gens too, just so we're ready to go. Probe heat will be after. I do appreciate this airplane's pretty simple to get up and going up. Hello. We'll look away for a moment.
Locking gear.
So we will say that GSX in the last few months has gotten a lot better. I was really skeptical when I was angry when I first got it, but it's actually, it's works now pretty well. It's pretty stupid proof. We want our nose on this side over here, so we want our nose right and our tail left.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Let them push back a little bit. Then we'll get fired up. First engine's easy because it's already running. And the prop brake off. And then turn up the condition lever to auto. Oh, look out, catering truck. We'll start engine 1. Watching our rise in our NH percent. At 10 will bring it forward. And not all the way to emergency, just into auto is fine. Alright, so here we are.
Parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Oh, we got a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, so last bits of housekeeping here. We're going to be flying off of runway 29, which we're going to need for runway heading. We're going to need something approximating runway heading 290. An initial altitude of 5,000. So heading of, looking for about what did I say, 290? 29. Legally, runway heading is 288. And that should actually point us straight at Deschutes, if I'm reading my map correctly.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
And there we go. Our last thing. Probe heat on. We'll hit the TRU button. On. We'll turn taxi lights on as we're getting ready to taxi. And do one last... Well, I shouldn't do one last check, because if I check, we may need to start over. Alright, we're ready to go. Redmond traffic, Brickyard 3584, ATR 72, taxiing to runway 29 via Alpha Bravo, crossing runway 5. Redmond traffic would be what you're looking for, but push the think button. And away we go, taxiing. Here at Redmond, pretty simple. Again, it's a crossing runway, so you're not going to get away from crossing runway. And there's the windsock blowing. In more or less a favorable direction. Other thing, we want to go to heading mode. and we'll climb out in IAS. For the moment, around 140 is what it's got knocked, and then once we're up to speed, we'll do 170. Flaps. First notch of flaps, and trim 0.8 still, so that's good. No good fixed views, so we'll just go little wing view, and then we're making the turn here. And crossing 2-3, lights on, strobes on. Redmond traffic, Brickyard 3584, crossing runway 5 at Bravo, Redmond. Check with Mark 1 eyeballs, doesn't hurt. Are coming up to the end here. Last quick check of the cockpit, make sure everything is good to go. I'm going to put up the bring up the map here. You all looks good. No white lights, looks like. All other lights are extinguished. So let's come up, hold short, and then we'll make it happen. Redmond traffic, Brickyard 3584 is going to take runway 29, departing out to the north, Redmond. One thing we need, gust lock released. I don't have second throttle, let's fix that too. There we go. Okay, so that's set up. So we're here, we're in takeoff mode. I'm going to hold on the brakes, bring power up. Yelling at me for takeoff config. It wants up trim. We're going the wrong way. We want trim up 0.8, not down 0.8. All right, let's try it again. Are we rolling? It's gonna be pretty windy. I've got some left rudder in. It's about 80 knots there. Hundred knots here. Should want to go flying. 110 V1. Buzz rate gear up. Yeah, flaps coming up. Gonna increase the speed now to our climb speed of 170. And bring our indicators back to maximum continuous. And the chute's gonna be off that way. So we'll go ahead to our first waypoint, which is gonna be Herbs. Passing 5,000, we'll climb, maintain 16,000. And get our autopilot on. Redmond traffic, Rookyard 3584, clear runway 29, climbing through 5,000, parting out to the north, Redmond. Alright, so DTO, let's go to Herbs. Exactly that, and that'll put us on to our final approach, or onto our course, onto the airway, which is Victor 25 all the way, basically up along the mountains. Thank you all for coming along. Hope you enjoy our climb out over beautiful Redmond, Oregon. We are in our Atlantic Southeastern Airways, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Pacific Northwest, I don't think, but that's all right. It looks pretty nice. One last thing before we settle in for the climb, we should go back to climb power there. Keep the throttles in the notch position. All right, let's check them. We're climbing out of Oregon here. Flaps are up. Speed's good, 170. Climbing through 13,000 feet, about 600 feet per minute. Still in the climb. Power. We're pretty heavily loaded for an ATR. Full fuel, or full passengers. And a fair amount of fuel. This is about an hour flight up to Seattle. Nothing too crazy, but... definitely a fun place to fly. All right, we're here at cruise altitude 16,000. Hanging out. We're not going to go above transition altitude. I don't know what the we'll have to keep an eye on the weather at our various points between here and Seattle. But yeah, so we're up now, and we're pretty much on our way. So flying along here in the Cascades, thank you all for coming along, for just joining us. We are operating Brickyard Flight 3584, service to Seattle, Washington. We're coming up on, we're going to be crossing the Columbia River. Portland, Oregon's going to be off to our left. Once we get across the river, we'll be in Washington State. Then we'll fly over Yakima and make the left-hand turn and start our descent towards Seattle, Washington. Getting into Seattle will be a little interesting. We'll see what the weather is like in Seattle. They're reporting saying runway 34s are going to be the way to go. So Seattle's 3 vertical runways affect 3 parallel runways. Better way to put it. See the Columbia River down there now. Can we see the dam? Oh yeah, we're flying right over it. Right over the Dales. That way to Portland. We go out that way. All the way. Now you eventually end up in Boise. Zoom out just a little bit. See where we're at. Mike, welcome aboard. We're heading to Seattle, Washington. Mopar dude, welcome aboard. Thanks for coming along. Good to see y'all. We're heading into Seattle. It's a pretty quiet night in Vatsim in Pacific Northwest, but I won't pass up a chance to fly out of Redmond. I do enjoy Redmond. So we're going to go into Seattle and see what kind of trouble we can get into. We're about to make, well, I'm not about. We got a few miles before we make the left-hand turn to basically start our final leg into Seattle, out over Yakima. Then we're going to come in. Now, Seattle is landing north. We have 3-4s. I'll take, you know, given the choice, I'll take the closest runway to my gate, which is going to be 3-4 right. We're not on a star or anything. So we'll plan for the ILS for 3-4 right and go from there. So we've got our ILS there, final course 344. Let's go ahead and program that in now. 110.3, and of course, someone pops online, we'll follow what they tell us to do. But for now, that's it. That puts us out. If we flew the arrival all the way, or we flew the approach, the ILS for runway 34 right would put us at 7,000 at GPOX. We could probably cut it a little closer. We are going to come in kind of hot here. We're descending, the last leg is descending over the mountain, so we're at 16,000 now. As far as I can see, along our route, we should be okay. Well, we can look at the actual chart and see. Let's look for our IFR low. We're on Victor 4, flight level 100, down to Blaco. So we got to be at 10,000 until we get to Blaco, and then we'll kind of do a crash dive, probably vector south of the field. And then just try to pick up the ILS when we get down to an appropriate altitude. So, fun stuff. ATR has been fun. Mike's making iced coffees if you need one. Or impromptu beverage service on this quick commuter flight. We're coming up on it. We're actually not too far out. 20 miles from that. 20 miles, and then we'll clear ourselves down to just maintain 10,000. Altimeter at Seattle. Let me get the weather here real quick. Seattle Tacoma International Airport. Weather, METAR saying wind 290 at 8 knots. Sensor 5, scattered clouds 20,000. Or temperature 26, 2.12, altimeter 2989. And that's it. We're gonna overfly Yakima on our nose, then make the left. Oh, we're here. We can do our landing performance. That is a page on here, isn't it? So transition altitude, that's right. Destination runway, I haven't put anything like that in. We can go ahead and do that. Seattle. We're looking for the ILS 34 right. We can get it. And probably plan for the worst via GPOX. Or JIPOX or whatever. Chippewa, maybe. And then cut it on in. Now that should change it around a little bit. That'll kick us out to the south. And then back in. Below us, you can see the town of Yakima passing by. I think the VOR is right on the river. Yeah, it is. Not sure we can pick it out. Yeah, there were some from what I know, there's some high-profile icing incidents, at least in the States. Big reason why you don't see as many of them anymore. I think it goes around early aughts, I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely something like that. Alright, so we're going in here. We're probably... oh, I don't know. Well, that 30... probably about 45, 50 miles from Blaco, from where we're going to be down. So we got about 50 miles to lose, 6,000 feet. So we'll start our ascent when we get a little bit closer in. Just flying over the mountains. More altitude's probably not a bad thing. Yeah, it's true. It should be. I mean, weather's showing pretty warm, 26°C. 80, almost 88 Fahrenheit. So yeah, definitely, definitely a little warmer here. The snow line finally receded. It was hanging around into April. Crossing chins. That's saying my top of descent's there. That's probably accurate. I want to get rid of the discontinuity. Well, I don't yet. I don't yet. We'll fly straight to. Let's just make sure no one's online. Nope, still all quiet. Get flight recorder queued up. As we trundle here over the mountains in our ATR 72, if you're just joining us, we are flying a commuter flight here for Delta Connection, Redmond, Oregon, up to Seattle, Washington. Would have flown it as Alaska, but I forgot to drag the actual folder into my community folder. Forward just a little bit from top of descent now. Making pretty good time heading up, about an hour and change flight from Redmond up to Seattle. So somewhere around here, you can almost see getting past the mountains here. So we've got another 20 miles. So in a few minutes, we'll start coming on downhill. And then we'll shoot the ILS into Seattle. Hope you all are doing well this evening. We're just gonna get this one flight in. It's just it's been a little busy here around the VFR house. Lots going on. It's that time of year. Hopefully, I think the next month is gonna be kind of busy, and then we'll taper off a little bit over the summer. So that'll be good. But we're gonna go ahead down to, well, let's prime 10,000 feet. And just go ahead and start on our way down. Now I'll pull power. Favorite scenery? It's an oldie but a goodie, probably DCA. Shirzeki Design, DCA. Followed, I think, closely by Flightbeam Denver and Dulles, but probably in that order. The INI Heathrow is good too. I just don't use it that much because we don't have a big plane to fly into it. We can fire ourselves direct at this point. But I mean, if I could only have one thing scenery-wise, it'd be DCA. Let's go straight to Jaipox there. We'll knock this down, clear ourselves down to 7,000 feet. And start setting up. Pause that for now. We are on 122.8 for the radio. So we are on Unicom. No one home in Seattle yet. I'm sure they'll get there. Other traffic in the area. There's someone coming into, or no, they departed Boeing Field for Marseille, it looks like. And on the ground at Seattle, we have 8 departures listed. I see 2 on the 2 in the vicinity now. Alaska 984 and Delta 573. Yeah, that's right. That would be Mount St. Helens. You can see the chunk missing from it. Yeah, I mean they don't kid around with their mountains out here. That's for sure. Coming in, then you get the greater Seattle area in front of us. Where's the airport? Airport should be right around our 3 o'clock or so. Not sure. Renton's over here too somewhere. and Boeing Field. Yeah, I'd imagine. Still. You can see some of the... I'd assume that's like a lava flow there. Or something. Not a geologist, but it is interesting. Yeah, exactly. We'll move past that. We'll keep an eye out for the traffic. I don't expect to see anyone. Supposedly there are 8 departures, 5 arrivals coming in. I think we're the next one to hit. The rest of them are pretty far away. There's a couple transcons coming this way. Keep Mount Baker quiet. Where's Mount Baker? Is that further north? We're now 9,500. We got 15 miles, so we're pretty well set up. We could punch it near Bellingham. Okay. Bellingham, I guess. In this part of the world. Let's knock the range down a little bit. Not that much. This is pretty aggressive too. We could, I mean, we definitely can cut it now. A lot closer. So let's go ahead and see what we're at, what we're dealing with here. So clues be 4,000, so we can descend down to 4,000 feet. We'll do a little vector for ourselves. And I'll give ourselves turn right heading, oh, I don't know, 0. Right 290 probably works fine. So descend 4,000, right turn heading 290. We'll pull power. I will also arm approach mode. We're now in heading mode 2, so course, let's pull this up. The final approach course is going to be 344, so we want to put in 344 there. Not bad. And we got the airport in sight now, too. So we'll alter 10 degrees right. I didn't judge that very well. Maybe even heading 310. And then we'll descend, pick it up, dump speed, and get our gear out. I'd say at this point we're about 20 to the south, too. Seattle traffic, Brickyard 3584 ATR, about 20 south of the field, setting up for the ILS runway 34 right, Seattle. Keep it coming down. We'll throw the brakes on after that. What are my speeds again? I forget. Flaps are 185. Gear extension is 185 too. So 185 is going to be our target speed. And then from there we can get some, we'll have some help to get the rest of the way. I thought I had approach mode, but it doesn't look like I'm getting the symbology. Let's make sure that's up. Bring this in. Flight recorder started. Now let's shoot this approach. Oh. Pull through. I know it's tricky. Lower the speed now. 22,000. Localizer's coming in now. So we've captured that. We captured glide slope. Speed is now good. We're rolling out. So we'll put gear down. We'll go one notch of flaps for the moment. Get a little bit of power in just to keep up our speed. About a 5-mile final, we'll cut the power and go back to a final. Approach speed. And that'll be right around Buck as we pass Buck up here. So thank you for coming along. If you just joined us, we are shooting our final approach into Seattle, Washington. Seattle Tacoma International Airport as Brickyard 3584 ATR service from Redmond, Oregon. An hour flight. Weather in Seattle is warm, 80 degrees. Wind right now 290 at 8 knots. Our altimeter is, I don't know if I updated it, 29 or 89 or. That's pretty close. Holding speed 170 until Bucky, and then we'll start dumping speed. Got gear out, we got flaps a little bit down. We're making it happen. Thankfully, this airplane isn't too slippery, especially on final, fully configured. Also keeping a lookout for any other traffic in the area. Haven't heard anyone on frequency, but good to listen. So there's Bucky. Start bringing the power back, and the last notches of flaps are going to be at 150 for landing flaps. Right now we're aiming for an approach speed around 110. I don't know if that's going to be bugged. I don't think no, I don't think I set that up. The performance pages in this airplane are not something I'm good at. Okay, my airplane will take control. Seattle traffic, Brickyard 3584, short final will land, runway 34 right, Seattle. That's good, we're getting a little low, so bring a little power in. Let's see if I can calibrate my height. Or not. Right on glide slope, a little fast, a little left, but that's all right.
500.
All right, we'll bring this in. Feeling I might be about speed. I assume too low. Too far left too, but that's all right.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Just holding in the flare.
10.
A little left center line, but that's all right. And we'll go into reverse because we have the functionality. If we can make this taxiway, we definitely can. I don't know how well my reverse is really working, but that's all right. All right, everybody, welcome here to Seattle Tacoma International Airport. We have made it. Let's find a place to park, huh?
Seattle traffic, Delta 4116, pushing back from Quebec 12 gate. I'm going to be taxiing runway 34 right.
I have no
departure via taxiway Papa. Actually, via
must have overheated the brakes. I have no
Seattle traffic.
So we'll taxi on here. Seattle traffic, Brickyard 3584, clear runway 34 right, taxiing to the gates. Seattle. We'll call it here at Bravo 3. I don't know what happened with the engines. I got a bunch of alerts too, like my engines went out. Nope, I lost it again. So something's not right, but I don't know what it is. Let's put parking brake on. That was a little disturbing coming off of that. Because these, I mean, I've had this, so this, like I've got low. I don't know what's going on. Let's get the engine up. I want that one. I want not that one. I don't really want video either. One thing I do not understand are the click spots. Okay, there it is. It says I have engine, but why is it giving me faults here? It's almost like my engines are feathered, but they're not. That's strange. Anyway, let's go into hotel mode so engine 1 can be done. For the day, we'll bring engine 2 back to feather. Parking brake is on. Gust lock is on. And we can bring the prop brake on. The lights are off already, and that's not good. The lights on. That'll get us to. Oh, I shouldn't have turned it off. We're gonna have to go into the air. But that'll get us to Seattle. So thank you all for coming along tonight. Hope a little bit of a short flight, but we got it in. And yeah, let's go. Let's see what the damage is on this flight. Let's get off of Vatsim here. And let's go check out the damage. I'm not sure we're going to have engines for this one, but that's all right. Let's turn the prop brake off. I didn't think about that when I pulled into the gate. Yeah, it's like it's slow-mo. So here we are, approach into Seattle, Washington. Thank you all for coming along. Hope you all have a great night. And we'll be streaming again here in, I'm hoping to get one in next week. We'll see. I'll keep you all posted. Hopefully with a community post. And then we'll go from there. But appreciate y'all sticking around. And hope you all have a great night.